Yeah, the Detroit Masonic Temple, when it was initially designed back in the 20s, the idea was just given its sheer enormity in terms of size and scope. They obviously, first and foremost, it was a building built by Masons, for Masons, but they knew that it was gonna need more than that, not just to sustain itself, but to kind of remain a part of the overall fabric of the city of Detroit, the surrounding region. So it does. They designed it in terms of community and civic uses as well. In fact, several areas of the temple, the ballroom areas on the basement level and the sub basement levels, were designed more for public activity, with the Masonic activity kind of being like a kind of like an ancillary use for those areas. The theater spaces as well. We have two very large theater spaces. One seats 4,404. The other seats 1,652, and those were designed primarily more for public uses as well. So they realized that this was going to need more than just Masonic use, and they wanted to have it be like a part of the enduring landscape of community life in Southeast Michigan. So my roles at the temple are several. I wear a few different hats. The main one, actually, the two main ones, excuse me. I am the chief docent at the Detroit Masonic Temple, and what my job duties there specifically entail is that it's my responsibility to coordinate and schedule and confer the various tours that we do at the temple. So essentially what we do is we have several public tours per month, typically. Those are regular tours that focus primarily on the historical, the architectural, the Masonic aspects of the world's largest Masonic building. And we also have a couple behind the scenes tours that focus specifically on the maintenance, the infrastructure, the engineering aspects, several of the unfinished areas that we were not able to show on regular tours. Those are a lot of fun. Also, it's my job basically to kind of be the public face of the temple, so to speak, for interviews such as what we're doing right now. For when anytime anyone has like an inquiry on the temple, wants a sometimes they're media inquiries, sometimes they're more research inquiries. When people want to know more about that, I usually the one they go to for information on that. The other one I do is executive director of the Detroit Masonic Temple Library, Archive, and Research Center. The library has been around in one form or another since 1882. Originally, it kind of operated somewhat like along the lines of a Masonic Temple Association, in which it had representation from each one of the Masonic bodies in the city of Detroit that kind of formed a board, and they appointed a director. It had that format for a while, but as currently we're an independent 501c3 corporation, so we have a very unique relationship with the temple as a whole. We do a lot of, as you might infer, a lot of the research and a lot of the archival responsibilities at the temple. We occupy the western half of the fourth floor of the temple, so we have roughly around 2,000 square feet within a 550,000 square foot building to ourselves. That occupies the Egyptian Lodge Room, which is the one lodge room in the building that is still dedicated purely towards Masonic purposes. What happened was back in the mid 2000s, as the temple was being used more and more for public usages, specifically the lodge rooms, rather than having to go to Grand Lodge and get a dispensation each and every time, which was kind of time consuming for all concerned. A kind of a deal was struck where they would kind of do a blanket undedication of the lodge spaces, with the compromise being that one lodge room would be purely retained for Masonic purposes, which is the Egyptian room, which is kind of apropos for a Masonic library, so it worked out for all concerned. So yeah, basically we have archival items going back to the early 1800s. We have thousands of items. Many of them are books. Many of them are Masonic paraphernalia and ephemera and whatnot, regalia. We also have quite a few items related to Detroit history itself. So we're kind of we're in some respects kind of a newer, older organization. We've been around in our current form since 2016. That's when I took over. That's when we went ahead and kind of got our 501c3 back on track. It had lapsed for a little bit, but we're back. We're in full force now. So the idea is that we are trying to preserve and maintain the legacy of this Masonic monument, and try to kind of become a first-class research facility in a first-class building.